If Jesus doesn't send people out, if the church doesn't send people out, the gospel won't be preached and the nations won't be reached. So let's just stop and think about this logically for a moment. Paul is talking about a promise for salvation to the world. The greatest news the world has ever known is that all who call on the name of the Lord will be saved. This is the greatest news, isn't it? This is the promise. It's the greatest news in the world. But there's an essential structure to get there. In order for salvation to occur, certain things need to happen. And to illustrate this, I'm going to do some reverse engineering here for a second. I don't know how many of you are into construction or engineering, but we're going to do a little construction today. So bear with me for a moment. We're going to take this passage, Romans chapter 10, and we're going to work through it backwards. Okay, this section here, let's work through it backwards. So first of all, number one, Jesus and his church need to send people. Okay. Secondly, sent people need to preach the gospel. Thirdly, that preaching needs to be heard by unbelievers. Fourthly, those hearers need to believe in what's said about Jesus. Fifth, those who believe need to call upon the name of the Lord. And then what's our promise? Those who call upon the name of the Lord shall be saved. This is our structure. This is the plan that God has to bring salvation to the world. So practically speaking, we see here that sending people is foundational to God's plan for saving people. That's the structure. Sending people is foundational to God's plan for saving people. Think about that for a moment. If people aren't sent, then no one will preach, and nobody will hear, and therefore people will not believe, and those unbelievers will not call upon the name of the Lord, and those people will die in their sin. Isn't that the argument he's making? It's very clear. Sending people is foundational to saving people. This is the truth. It may be hard to accept. I even imagine some of you right now go, I don't really like that. Like it or not, I'm just the messenger. Preach it. This is what God says. Sending people is foundational to saving people.